This is the program where anything is up for discussion. You got me, Jeff, alongside the lovely Shannon. How are you, my love?
Good, how are you?
a little bit squeaky, a little bit raspy. I'm going to see if we can get through this, but my hopes are down right now, kid. You're really not doing well.
Do what I can to get through the show. So at least if I speak up close to a microphone, you can hear what I'm saying.
We were. It's funny because we were making fun of the news lady the other day that was trying to pull it off with the raspy voice. Remember?
I know, it's so bad because we're like, ha ha ha, she's sick, ha ha ha. And
now here you are.
Laryngitis. All I've been doing all day is talking on the phone.
I know you have.
So it's not helping.
A couple days ago, you were trying to get, kind of getting it back a little bit. It was not so like squeaky. It's a little sexy, a little raspy, but now it's gone.
It's sexy when it hurts to talk. Like to me, I get aggravated when I hear that because whatever. Why is that sexy?
It's gone.
Because I can't talk as much as sexy.
No, because it had a little raspy thing going on.
It comes and goes. Like I can actually talk better than this. It just depends. When the wind blows, I can actually get a word out.
Yeah, well.
Now, if I talk lower, in a lower voice, I can usually get everything out if I lower my voice. But if I talk normal, forget it.
Is this something you've learned over the last couple days, maybe? No? Being able to deal with this?
I've got a huge food show tomorrow night. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to talk to 400 people. It's awesome.
Hundreds and hundreds of people.
I'm just going to lose it all together. That's it. It's gone.
Coming to the Taste of Leominster by the time this airs tomorrow.
Totally screwed.
We'll be at the Taste of Leominster. So.
I just delayed a court case where I was the plaintiff, by the way, and I won. But I delayed it for tomorrow because I told him how sick I am and I'm supposed to cook for a food show. I totally told him the truth, but I can't go to court. They'd be like, Shannon Sylvia. I'm like, it's all good.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, so I'll be fine. This will pass.
Sure you will.
It'll pass.
Of course you will. Welcome to you guys, our virtual audience, joining us live in our chat room as we stream worldwide on upfordiscussionlive.com and also now on myptvonline.com. Shannon, of course, we got a lot going on this week. We can get to the situation in Baltimore, including a first-hand account from a family that ended up in the middle of the riot, trying to take their kids on vacation. And, but first I want to take this in another direction. We got some good news, actually. We got some happy, some fun news, some positive news.
Is that possible?
And absolutely.
Kate Middleton have her baby?
We have sheep. We have sheep. I have confirmed with the mayor of Leominster that the sheep will return to our Massachusetts landfill, and we'll be here for another season. Those fuzzy little guys are going to be on your route to work every morning. You'll be able to check them out.
I freaking love it, guys. This is a landfill. If you're not from Leominster, this is our landfill, and sheep just eat off it all day. It's the cutest thing because it's on the side of the highway. You feel like you're in Wales all of a sudden.
I was going to say, now you've been overseas. I mean, you've been to, the motherland, if you will. And this is a very, common setting out there, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, but just take that landfill sheep and multiply it by about 1.2 billion, and that's how many sheep you see on the side of the road.
Lots and lots
that
and
may
lots
be like a few dozen sheep compared to England. They're everywhere.
I think it's pretty cool, though. It's a great idea. The sheep are out of Ashburnham. The farmer that donates them is done now for a couple of years in a row.
I love it.
And I guess it's kind of a win-win for everybody. The sheep kind of clean up the area, and the farmer gets fat sheep.
I like the black-faced one that's the best, the Scottish black-faced sheep. But they have goats and a couple rams. They have all different kinds of sheep, and you'll see the little lambs as soon as they come in the spring, so it's awesome.
All right.
It's cute, so I started making sheep landfill cupcakes, and every time I make them, they sell out because everyone's like, I must have a sheep landfill cupcake.
You did.
It doesn't taste like lamb, but it's cute.
Leave it to Shannon to jump on the bandwagon. And speaking of which, you continue to kick ass at the bakery, and you had a piece done, which we talked about last week. It was done by the folks over at WBIN, and you were on the chef's plate, and I know you talked a little bit about that last week.
Good job.
Yeah. Do you want to, I think we have a clip from that. Do you want to introduce a little bit and talk about it a little bit before we play it? Or I know we have no voice at all.
I was on the chef's plate. They called me and asked if I could do a segment.
And they said that I could eat cheese, and they would hand a lot of cheese to me while I sat in the corner and squeaked and my ears perked up.
Thanks. So...
Poor Eddie. Well, you know what? Let's just play the clip.
If you could just talk as much as you can tonight, that'd be great.
All right, let's just play the clip. This is Shannon on the chef's plate, done by our folks over at WBIN. Enjoy.
My name is Shannon Sylvia. I am the owner of Shan Cakes in Leominster, Massachusetts. Shan Cakes started as a hobby. I started making a couple cakes in my home. I would post the cakes on Facebook, and one after the other, friends and family wanted more cakes. So I began to make more cakes until a few months later I needed more space. I found a very small commercial location here in Leominster, and that's where it all began. Everything is fresh made to order. So we're not your typical bakery. You're not going to walk in and see 1,000 cakes pre-made. Everything, because we have 40 different flavors, is made fresh that day. We have an in-house pastry chef here named B. We specialize in fresh cakes, fondant cakes, wedding cakes, birthday cakes, pastries for all occasions. We have cupcakes. We have 4 different sizes. We have mini, we have the standard, we have the extra large, and we have the XXL, which is a giant cupcake birthday cake that would serve up to a dozen people. We can do fondant decorations on those cupcakes. We can make handmade sculptures for the cupcakes, use pearls, frosting. The sky's the limit, and we have 20-something frosting flavors that people can choose from. We can fill the cupcakes. Cupcakes are a very, very big item right now for weddings in 2015 here. One of the specialty things that we are known here for is the peanut butter buckeye, which is a big thing out in Ohio, I learned when I had a Ohioan come visit me. We make them from scratch here. So they're made of peanut butter, they're dipped in chocolate, they're delicious. They make everybody happy. I make cheeseburger soup from scratch. It's a nice cheesy soup filled with ground beef, a pickle, tomatoes, onion. Very good seller here. If we are to cater an event, people just get back to us and tell us how many people are going to be at the event. We make some suggestions based on their choices and price ranges. We can do anything here from gluten-free to soy-free, vegan, nut-free. We specialize in allergy recipes here. Right now, Bea is in the kitchen making some homemade cream horns. She's cutting the pastry into strips, wrapping them around cannoli forms, baking them in the oven, and then the pastry puffs up. She's filling them with a great mixture of homemade whipped cream and homemade pastry cream, which we tinted pink today for Easter. One thing that I love about the cream horns is that they're homemade. You can definitely tell a difference. The shell is so light, just a perfect combination of crisp and fresh. The cream is a lot lighter and yummier than the grocery store creams, which are more of a lard base, very, very sweet, heavy, dense cream. They're nice and light here. On our second floor, we have a very large classroom. So we teach children how to decorate cakes for their birthdays. We also do ladies' night out. They can bring a beverage for the evening and have fun with the gals. We also have cake decorating lessons privately too. Some of the things that I really love about being the owner of Shan Cakes is the people. The people come in, and I have been known to talk too much, so I will get to know them, their families, their pets. I'm to the point where we're friends with a lot of the customers here. We'll text each other, we're on each other's Facebook pages. That's what makes my day go by, and knowing that people care and they feel the same way about us here too. We're not just fly-by-night, drive-through. You don't get to know the people here. Another thing that I really love here is my creativity and my background. Being an artist and having gone to art school is that I have total control over my designs. So I can be creative, and watching the people come through my door and pick up their custom sculpted fondant cake, I've seen people cry. Tears of happiness. And to me, I'll never forget moments like that ever. And it makes it very rewarding.
You continue to kick ass, and that's really awesome. It makes me very, very, very proud of you. Although you had me at Creamhorn.
Oh, so good.
Oh, sweet
So good.
God, praise the maker.
I like them
Those
too.
are amazing.
They're not actually that bad. I know what goes in them. I have to say that it's actually not that bad for you.
No, they're not. I mean, I'll tell you, I've had the ones out of the grocery store. You know, I've had the cheap ones that you guys can buy, and they're okay. But when you bite into this, oh my God.
Melt in your
They're
mouth.
just unbelievable. They're so much different. Like you said, they're lighter. They're much more flavorful. They're absolutely amazing. And
Thank you.
yeah, very cool.
And
Very
cream
proud of you.
ones. The
You did a
cannoli are pretty
great,
good too. I'm surprised they didn't talk about the cannoli.
great job.
They cost more.
Oh, no. Everybody loves a good cannoli, too.
Mike Lear wants to know why you're not 500 pounds.
I know. You know, I will tell you that
Can't
every
even-
time I walk through your place of business and not eat 14 things, it is a moral victory for me. I've actually lost weight, and I don't know how, because there's stuff there is so tempting. I mean, I guess it's like, you know, you hang around the barbershop, you get a haircut, but after a while, you know, there's only so much hair to cut, right? I don't know.
You had some treats today.
I did.
You had?
I had a nice little sandwich that you gave me.
I made it for a sandwich.
Yeah.
No, I gave you some dessert though. What was it?
You gave me a
You
little,
took a cupcake.
little cupcake action.
It was a nice cupcake.
Yeah, they all are. They all are. And speaking of nice, we want to thank all of our sponsors that definitely support us here on the show and definitely love what you guys do as well. Our oldest sponsor, Lemonster Storage Solutions, is expanding, Shannon, right across the street and now right next to you. They are putting up all of the stuff now where you could get your cars in there for the winter, because before, although they had climate control, although they had security and all that other stuff, you couldn't find a place to put your winter car there because being in an old warehouse, the floors wouldn't support the weight. But now they're building across the street from you. They're doing a fantastic job. Should be done soon. And to find out more about them, you can call them today at 978-466-8887 or visit them online at lemonstorstorage.com. And, of course, we want to thank Pam and the crew over there at Mariano's Restaurante in Pepperell. They do a fine job, and it's absolutely wonderful. Wonderful job out there. We love them very much, and we want to thank them for what they do. We can visit them today at mariositalian.com or call them at 978-433-6633. And today, Shannon, of course, we indulged in a little dinner from Village Pizza up there at our friends in North Leominster, the fine Italian pizza that they call Village Pizza. To find out more about them, you can call them today at 978-343-7722 and ask for Ray. Tell them Jeff sent you. And our friends, of course, at Sasquatch Coffee. Sasquatch Coffee is the stuff that I enjoy in the morning. And I'll tell you, it's probably the best coffee on the planet. I've been all over the place. There isn't anything like it. To find out more, you can visit them at squatchcoffee.com. And, of course, we want to say a big hello, and we want to make sure that we point out that there's a new comic series out from our friend Big Brother Mike, the producer, and it's called The Skull Hunter. You can find out all the information about that at indieplanet.com, and we want to play you a trailer from that right now.
Is that all you got?
Not even close.
Who are you?
I am your nightmare.
It's not finished! Damn right it's not.
Once again, guys, a real classic in comic books. If you guys want to find out more about the Skull Hunter, you can find out more at indieplanet.com. Awesome. And Shannon, again, we have a lot going on tonight. We're going to come back with your Who Does That. Hopefully we can get through that, kid. I must admit, I'm a little worried about you right now. I gotta definitely tell you the concern is there. Concern is there. I don't know how you're going to do this, but we do invite all of you maybe to take a little load off of Shannon and give us a call at our call-in number, which is 323-902-6661. We keep that going throughout the show, and we enjoy you guys calling. We invite you to call in, and one person that takes full advantage of that on a regular basis, Shannon, is our friend JT. And it's time to find out what JT thinks.
Hello, Jeff and Shannon. JT from L.A. Years ago, I don't know if you remember this song, Shannon. Bob Seger, he had a hit song called Going Back to Kathmandu. I'm not sure if he'd want to go there now. They just had a devastating earthquake. So far, according to the news reports, about 25,000 people have died, I guess. Or 2,500 people. 2,500 people have died. The aftershocks even went as far as Mount Everest causing avalanches. A lot of devastation, Jeff and Shannon, a lot of devastation. So I'm going back to Kathmandu. That is really what I want to do.
Oh, no.
I don't think so, Jeff and Shannon. I'm staying here in Leominster. Bye-bye.
And they are talking, of course, about the devastating earthquake in Nepal. And Shannon, recently breaking news, there are now over 4,400 reported dead from the devastating earthquake there. And, we were talking about it the other day, man. Imagine a town like Leominster just leveled like this. And you realize 4,000 of our friends, you've got to know people. It's not just, always people you don't know. And when it hits home like that, it's people you definitely do know.
Yeah. I agree. I was just saying, can you imagine, even when the death toll was a lot lower, I said, that's a lot of people. It was originally 700. I said, can you imagine if 700 people in Leominster died? We would know a lot of those people. Somebody in the chat told me to try to whisper loud.
Maybe you could do that. Want to try? Maybe just do a little whisper thing?
I'm too shy.
Go ahead, just try.
All right, can you imagine if 700 people died? No, that's no better. That's absolutely not. What are you talking about? That's the same thing.
What are you talking about? We're going to do many
said that word.
Right?
All right, so that's the best I can do. I'm sorry.
All right. We definitely want to thank everybody at LATV for what they do. And Carl, Tina, Jack, Jane, and Robert, right down the line there. We want to thank them for all their help that they give us at the network and for us being a part of what they do and them being a part of what we do. We certainly appreciate it. And we are going to try to come back right after this, Shannon, with Who Does That. Hopefully Shannon can pull it off. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed. Maybe give it a little.
Maybe you have a copy of it. You can help me.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Up for discussion with Jeff and Shannon Sylvia. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Up for Discussion Live is brought to you in part by Leominster Storage Solutions, Mariano's Restaurante, Sasquatch Coffee, and Village Pizza.
Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection. Heart to heart. Make us start with the soul connection.
And now back to Up for Discussion right here on Pararock TV.
When you hear that music, it can only mean one thing. It's that segment of the program when Shannon Sylvia asks, who does that? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Shannon Sylvia.
All right. Sorry.
We're going to get you the Stephen Hawking thing, so.
All right. In Eastport, New York. Yes, it does work. If I lower my voice, I have to try to get there.
Turn your way
If
up.
I get a lower voice, I can get it out. So I'm just going to talk like this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Eastport, New York.
Eastport, New York.
It's so hard to do that. Police say a Long Island man set his rental car ablaze while trying to kill bed bugs inside the vehicle.
What normally takes 5 minutes, folks, is now going to take 20. So if you'd like to get a cocktail, come back, join
Well,
us.
who has bed bugs in their car rental?
Really? Aren't they
Why
car
wouldn't
bugs
you
at
just
that
try
point?
to turn the rental around and bring it back?
Really? I mean,
the guy suffered first and second degree burns in the incident Tuesday outside an Eastport supermarket.
I think just hearing you talk is funny.
It kind of works if I go lower.
You could be saying anything, and I think it'd just be cracking.
I feel like Peter Brady.
Yeah, Peter Brady when you hit puberty.
Police say the Bridgehampton resident poured alcohol all over the insects, then sat in the car and lit a cigarette, setting off the blaze. He then fled the vehicle.
Just grab your crotch. Maybe you can alter your voice somehow.
He figured if someone he saturated the bed bugs with alcohol that it would kill them. 2 other cars were heavily damaged from the intense heat of the fire.
I don't even know you anymore.
Why do you make me do this then? What do you want me to do? I have no choice.
Poor thing.
When it's time to change.
Oh no.
I'm so sick of talking like this. It's so weird to even hear my voice in the pre-recording.
I know when we did the intros, you're like, wow, that's what I sound
Oh my God,
like.
it's been like 4 days.
I know, huh?
I'm so tired.
All right.
All right, second story.
Who does that?
All right, this one's pretty remarkable, actually. 120-pound Molly Schuyler devours 3 72-ounce steaks plus sides in 20 minutes and set a new world record.
Plus sides?
At the very same restaurant where I ate a 24-ounce steak, and I was so proud of myself because I had never done that before, and that was like the best that anybody did at the table. This little shit eats 120 pounds.
Oh, my God.
It's 3 72-ounce steaks. That's 72 times 3. 216 ounces plus sides.
Oh my God. The 16 ounces.
I ate 24, and that was like the best accomplishment of my life.
That's more than 10 pounds. Am I doing this right? Is that over 10
20
pounds?
20 pounds on this girl. So, she is the mom of 4, set yet another record, scarfed down 3 enormous steak dinners in 20 minutes at the Big Tex. In 20 minutes.
She's a
That's
champion.
impossible.
She's a champion. She's an absolute
Impossible in Amarillo, Texas, where we did an appearance, Jeff. I'm kind of skipping half of I'm not like naming the news stations because that takes.
No.
So I'm just going to skip most of it.
I bow to you.
But she competed alone, was pitted against 4 teams of 2 at the eating competition. Teams included a pair of professional wrestlers and 2 former West Texas A&M University football players. Each duo was reported to allow to split the enormous meal, 3 72-ounce steaks. Now she competed alone.
Okay.
3 shrimp cocktails, 3 salads, and 3 rolls between them. However, she still emerged victorious, finishing 3 of them in 20 minutes flat. We've seen a lot of things come through this door, but Molly, she takes the cake, and she takes a lot of cake. Wow. Says the owner.
Wow.
The rules say if a customer can consume a steak that size in 1 hour plus sides without getting up from the table or receiving any help, they get the $72 charge refunded. So she ate $206 worth of steak. That must have been one giant poop the next day.
Oh my God! Yeah, can you imagine?
Who does that?
Other people have
Hey,
been.
wait a minute. That's what you sound like. You want to hear it?
Who is that?
Who does that?
That's you, Shannon.
Who is that?
That's you. No, folks, joining us for the first time. That's not always what she sounds like. Really not.
Someone in the chat says, "Yep, the dog's still listening," and I'm apparently a Morris to your parakeets tonight.
Oh
Thank
yeah. Indeed.
They've been doing that contest since 1960. They've never had anybody come in and eat all of that steak before.
From 1960.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she walked home. Other records, she broke records for eating chicken wings, bacon, and mushrooms, and then she walked home this time $5,000 richer.
Wow. $5,000 she got for eating 3 72-ounce steaks.
That's crazy.
Oh my God. Somebody in there has got to do the math because there's 16 ounces in a pound. That's 216 ounces. I'm sorry. Yeah, 216 because 7 times 3 is 21. Then you add 6. That's
72 times 3 is 200.
Yeah, 7 times 3 is 21.
Oh, 209 ounces. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's 3 times 9.
No, it's 6. 72 times 3
Yeah, I
is
was right.
216.
What's 216?
Okay.
My God, I can't add. I can add about as well as I can talk.
You can really. You're adding about as well as you can talk.
216.
216 ounces. There's
Oh
16
my God,
ounces
that's
in
a
a
10-ounce
pound.
steak on top of all.
Right. So there's 10 pounds in 160 ounces. Right?
Crazy.
So then you got to add another, 40, 56 ounces, right? So that's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's another like 6 pounds. So that's almost 16 pounds of steak, Shannon. Is that right? Am I tripping or is that right? That's 16 pounds of
16
steak.
pounds. She weighs 120.
That is exactly. That's
Holy
16
shit.
pounds of steak.
Well, that's actually, that comes with 2 sides per meal.
Oh my God, that's
So
plus
that's
size.
6 sides. So that's steak plus sides, but that's a total of 72-ounce steak plus sides, guys.
The lady's a champ.
And rolls.
Wow.
Hold on. Let me check.
Wow.
It was, there's a lot more food there, guys. So she actually ate 3 72-ounce steaks, 3 baked potatoes, 3 shrimp cocktail servings, 3 salads, and 3 rolls.
3 rolls. Wow.
How the hell does that happen? We have to. No, you can't. You can't throw it up or excuse yourself
No,
after the
you
meal. You
can't.
have to stay there
Yeah.
the whole time. That's the rules.
That's right.
We have to interview her.
Who does that?
Where do you put it? That's just insane.
The lady is a champion.
That's insane. That's definitely
An
every guy's
absolute
dream date right
champion.
there. No,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I have to just have the salad with light dressing tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
The second you marry her, she's sitting on the couch eating her bonbons.
Well, she is getting it for free, so it's like, yeah, baby, we got
I know.
this.
I got my steak for free, and
We got
it
this.
took everything I had to finish it.
Wow.
I wish I'd avoided the 72 just to be an asshole.
You could have. You could have actually.
Somebody else was paying for it.
Well,
All right.
speaking of paying for it, what else we got?
Last story.
There's a segue for you. Speaking of
Comes out
paying
of
for
Concord,
it, right?
North Carolina.
Yeah, we don't want to pay for it.
A North Carolina man who died at 81 had one final request printed in his obituary: do not vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Because we don't want to pay for it.
Jill McLean, whose father, Larry Upright, died April 13th, said her family decided the obituary should reflect the staunch Republicans' love of politics. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be sent to Schuyler's Hospital for Children.
Yeah.
His obituary reads, also the family respectfully asks that you do not vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Rest in peace, granddaddy.
Oh my.
He was very
Who does that?
He was very passionate about politics and probably passed a little of that on.
Oh, I bet he did.
His father would have been amused by the obituary. We know he's up there giggling right now, just laughing out loud. I wonder if Hillary knows about that.
Yeah. Well, definitely a Republican.
That's too funny.
That is
so,
too.
Who does that?
Yeah, she was only 120 pounds.
Yeah, she was.
So she appears to walk. She needs to appear in Walking Dead, says Greg.
It's funny when you do your voice like that. Remember, I'm trying to remember the movie. I think it was Fast Times at Ridgemont High when the 2 big guys come in and say, "Do you mind if we dance with your dates?"
Sorry, I didn't see that movie. I didn't really care to see.
You were probably
What's her
even
face's
alive back
naked
then,
boobs.
right? You probably weren't even alive back then.
What
right?
year was that?
I don't know.
If it was 73, I definitely was not alive.
Hey, you know what? I've got kind of a little, almost not kind of a who does that, but kind of a crazy story. You know, you and I, we're kind of like Giddy, you and I. We've been together a long time, but one thing we do appreciate about each other is I love the way you smell. And I love to bottle it up. I stick my neck in your, I stick my nose in your neck, and I creep out on your smell, and I tell you how much I smell of you all the time.
My pheromones
and
alone
tell
is a
you-
huge invasion of
Well,
privacy.
Shannon, believe it or not, now you don't have to miss that. If by God your husband or wife passes away and you're really going to miss that smell, you don't have to anymore.
Okay, so what do we need to do, Jeff?
Well, a 52-year-old woman in France has created a new process that takes someone's body odor and turns it into perfume. You just send in a piece of clothing, and her lab extracts the molecules that make up the scent.
Right.
They distill it into a perfume.
Right.
Although it's pretty expensive, bottles are ranging around the $600 mark, but it might be just worth it. They say there's a very strong link between smells and memories, Shannon. And
Extract it from your clothing.
Well, yeah.
There's so many other smells in clothing. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to
Why
find
don't you
out.
just get the mortician to give you a piece of your armpit, and then you can extract your pheromones from there? That might be more effective.
Well, we're going to find out because the site officially launches in September.
Yeah, Mike says notice that they don't do that for men. So if you die, this is out of the question, and you're going to be turned into a diamond.
I know.
Sorry.
I know. You want to turn me into a diamond ring.
Yeah.
when I
So I
die.
can wear it forever, and
Press
too
me
bad
in
for
the
the next
carbon.
guy. He's going to have to deal. I'm wearing my husband. Hey, we both decided we're going to be cremated. You can do the same thing if you really want. I don't care.
I definitely
I will
wanna be
not care what happens to my body when I die. It's none of my business anymore.
I think that I want to be cremated. I mean, I think they're going to run out of room someday. There's a lot of people dying.
I don't
every
think
day,
we
you
have
know?
to worry about that in the next 6 years.
Well, thanks, honey. Jeez. You got a plan? Is that why you took out that policy? Is that why the guy in the suit keeps calling me from
He keeps
Mutual Life
sneaking in,
Insurance
stealing
Company?
arsenic cupcakes out of the
Hell.
cabinet that I'm rigging up.
I keep getting these calls in the middle of the night from Mutual Omaha's Life Insurance. I don't know what the hell it's all about, but I mean,
Different time zone.
must be now. I guess I can figure it out, right?
No, I really like you around, actually, if you can
All right.
believe that. So,
Well, I'm
But,
trying.
Yeah,
trying right
I
now.
think I gotta find the website. But if somebody, where's Nathan? He's always my good researcher. But
That's
there's
right.
a website out there that they take your ashes, and it's expensive, but they turn you into a diamond that you can wear. You can choose the colors out of the ashes. They compress it into a diamond, a man-made diamond. But if I need that website though, because I thought it was familyjewels.com,
Family Jewels.
but it's not.
Yeah, that was the porn site you were looking at. Sorry. Bow, chicka, chicka, bow, chicka, bow. So I had to mute your microphone there for a minute because we were getting that funky music going on. What are the porn sites you're looking at, kid?
I clean my cache in my computer, so we're pretty good.
You don't have to do it anymore. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, we definitely want to come back and talk a little bit about what's going on in the Baltimore area. There's some very serious stuff going on. So, guys, stick around. We'll be right back after this.
You can feel it coming miles and miles away, like a freight train running. I'm gonna run you down today. They think this song is silly, I'm gonna sing it anyway. You've got a long way to fall when you're standing at the edge of the world. Feels like a storm is brewing, bad weather's on the way. Hold tight and we'll get through this, coming home today to stay. I've been gone for so long, I don't remember where I'm from. I've got a long way to fall, and I'm standing at the edge of the world. Don't look forward, baby, don't look back. Just keep your head up now, keep your head up. Don't look forward, baby, don't look back. Just keep your head up now, keep your head up. Where there's smoke, there's fire, on that you can depend. I've never been a liar, the truth is my best friend. If you think you've made it, I'm gonna tell you how it is. You've got a long way to fall when you're standing at the edge of the world. You've got a long way to fall when you're standing at the edge of the world. fall. Long way to fall. Long way to fall. Long way to fall.
All right, welcome back to Up for Discussion Live. And nobody can be ignoring what is going on in Baltimore right now, the shit show that's going on there. And I will be the first to say, and I will be quoted as saying, that it's an American disgrace what's going on there. I'm under the complete and total 100% impression that we do have our right to protest. That is an American right that we have fought long and hard for. However, these people are not protesters. These people that are destroying innocent businesses and hurting innocent families and destroying things in their own cities, by far are criminals and should be treated as such. And imagine for a minute, we're going to kind of review the events here as they've led up to today. Imagine taking your family on vacation and coming back from Busch Gardens, as was a family up here in Massachusetts. They stopped at Camden Yards to take their children to their first ever Major League Baseball experience at Camden Yards in Baltimore. And Shannon, you and I have been there. It's a beautiful, beautiful ballpark.
I like it there.
They have a lot of stuff going on outside the ballpark, a lot of great vendors, a lot of great food and restaurants and so forth. And imagine being in one of those restaurants. And I'm going to play a clip for you. This is what happened to that family. They were caught in the middle of the riots without any warning. Check it out. On the line now is Brian from Massachusetts, who happens to be visiting in the Baltimore area with his family, attending a Baltimore Orioles game. And Brian, can you tell us what you experienced down there and what's going on?
We decided to bring the family down for the first Red Sox game, and it was total mayhem. Something that totally caught us off guard, caught the local restaurants off guard, and the local hotels as well. It was absolutely mayhem.
Mayhem. Well, can you describe a little bit of what you experienced?
Yeah, we're at a restaurant, Nick and Frank and Nick's, and just having a nice, family dinner. And we're watching on the news on the other side of the stadium. There's some protesting going on. To be honest, we weren't quite sure what for because we weren't from the area, and we're vacationing, so we weren't watching the news too much. And the locals were telling us that it was going to be like a peaceful protest, and even the manager of the restaurant said, there's plenty of police in the area, and everything was, going to be peaceful demonstration. And I said within 5-10 minutes, the demonstration came around the stadium to where all the restaurants and the bars were, and it started getting out of control. The protesters were throwing bottles and chairs and trash barrels at the people, the patrons on the outside of the restaurants.
Oh my!
We had to get the patrons, the manager of the store got the patrons in as quickly as he could into the inside of the restaurant, and they actually locked the doors. And that's when everything went nuts. There's a trash barrel thrown through the window.
Oh my!
4 of the windows where we were sitting got smashed. I had to grab my 2 kids and a nice Baltimore Orioles couple, grab our kids and throw them in their booth in the back of the restaurant. And we stood in front of them, and some Oriole fans also kind of shielded the kids from any glass coming their way.
Wow.
So it was no one really expected it, and we were reading the news articles and saying that the patrons started all this. There's no way, man. I saw beer bottles, trash cans, and everything being thrown at these guys, and they're just standing there watching the demonstration.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow. Now you can clearly see, that there's definitely a division. I mean, as we all know, to protest is American, but to riot, to me is absolutely criminal. And I'm sure, what are the locals saying that were there with you? What is their perception of what's going on in the division of people that are rioting and protesting?
Well, I think a lot of the Baltimore fans were embarrassed. Embarrassed of what was going on and the type of demonstration that it turned into me. You know, listen, I agree. And I was trying to explain to my 9-year-old, that's one of our rights, you know, one of our freedoms is to voice your own opinion. But you got to do it in a peaceful and a proper way. You know, damaging properties and damaging, you know, storefronts, stores that people are trying to make a living. You know, that's criminal. I agree with you 100%. And what was disturbing to me is, you know, we had to walk the doors and we saw a 50-year-old guy, you know, get beaten by these guys.
Jesus.
And no one could do anything about it because the cops weren't around. You know, that's you know what my impression, Jeff, was? Yeah, I think the cops were scared to do something about it.
Well, they're certainly outnumbered. I have a couple of friends that are actually down there on the Baltimore police force, and what they're telling us is that for every one of them, there's 50 people to contain, and they're just completely overwhelmed. So, you know, we're all standing by hoping that they get some help. Perhaps the National Guard can come in and straighten things out. But, boy, it certainly seems to be a very scary situation down there, and we're all certainly glad that your family and yourself are safe and okay.
Yeah, I mean, we shot up at 7 o'clock and got out quickly today because, you know, rumor has it there's another, I think, a 1 o'clock game today, and I would not be surprised if they're back riding again today.
And
they have some reinforcements today, and you know, more importantly, hopefully the people from Baltimore, the protesters, look back at it and say, you know what, we did it the wrong way, and you know, let's protest, you know, quiet, you know, a nice orderly fashion this today and get a message across the right way.
Absolutely.
You know, not by damaging our city and our property.
That's right.
So hopefully, you know, they take a different approach today.
And I agree completely. You know, the message is important, but the vehicle delivering the message is also very much of importance as well. And it's hard to be positive about change and things that we need to do as a nation when we're gutting and destroying ourselves from the inside out like this. It's a horrible situation. Again, we're certainly glad that you and your family are okay, and we wish you a safe trip back up here to Massachusetts, and thank you for taking the time and sharing what's going on.
Yeah, no problem. And I also, if you don't mind, I'd like to thank the Baltimore fans that, you know, help protect our kids. You know, it showed the good side of people in a bad time, you know. So I just want to reach out to the, you know, people of the restaurant and the fans that, you know, we're taking care of our kids with us. You know, there are good people out there, and that was a message I was trying to explain to my 6 and 9-year-old kids. You know, there are good people out there as well.
Very good, very good. Once again, thank you again, Brian from Massachusetts, and again, safe travels home, my friend.
No problem. Thank you.
Boy, that's incredible testimony from somebody that was there on the scene, first-hand account. And I will tell you, for the very first time that I can remember in Major League history, yes, the first game that they were at when this started, they actually locked everybody in the stadium and didn't want them to leave. They've actually canceled another game since, Shannon.
Yeah.
And now what they're going to do is they're actually going to be playing a game with no fans. They've actually just banned fans completely. They're going to be playing in an empty stadium for what I consider the first time in Major League history. This is unprecedented because of the riots going on in Baltimore. It's just unbelievable.
I agree with you.
Oh, you poor thing.
I was trying to sip some wine, but you busted me.
Okay. You're supposed to do that during the breaks, but I know you're having a hard time.
I have to say, the coincidence with our friend calling in. The man who called in, his wife was my maid of honor in my wedding. And the couple that took the children and put them in the back of the restaurant was with one other couple in that restaurant at the time. That other couple are from Leominster.
Wow,
They're from Leominster. They went to school with me, and they're old-time friends of mine. They live in Baltimore. They were at that game, and Joni and Brian are from Gardner, and they were coincidentally out there in the same restaurant at the same time. It's very strange.
It is very strange, and it's very sad. I mean, you know, that here he is. Can you imagine being there with your family and you're seeing some
the
poor
kids must have
guy
been terrified.
getting beat up, 5 feet from you? And, your first instinct is, I have to protect my family. I mean, as much as I want to go over there and peel these guys off and help them out, what if somebody pulls out a knife and kills me? I mean, I've got to worry about my family sitting back here.
That wouldn't be good.
I hear you kind of squeaking trying to come in there, so I figured I'd give you the floor
You keep
first.
asking me questions. What are we going to do? Not say anything.
Well, we do want to make sure that people in the chat room that are asking do know. To find out more about Shan Cakes, you can find them at 368 Central Street. You can call them at 978-840-4343, or you can find out more about the confectionery crack at shancakes.com.
You can get tickets to tomorrow night's Taste of Lemonster and have samples of coconut macaroons, flourless chocolate cake, or cannolis.
Nice.
Free.
Very nice.
Part of the ticket price.
Very nice. I will tell you that one thing that really, really, really bothers me about this, and you and I were talking about this earlier, watching the funeral played on the air.
It wasn't a funeral.
Of this guy. It sounded more. Forum. It did. It sounded more like an NAACP rally.
Yeah.
I mean, these people were preaching and they were screaming and they were singing, and there wasn't a whole lot being talked about this guy or his life.
No idea what
or,
this kid was.
His family. It was all just racism and hate and I mean, to me, it was stimulating a bad situation, Shannon.
It was awful. It's the first thing I thought of was they should have been talking about that little boy. That wasn't the time and place for that shit. Sorry. It really upset me because I don't know what this kid did in his life. But if he did anything good, don't you think they would have been talking about it?
Well, I will tell you
or is
that.
That's just what the media wants us to see.
The guy had a pretty long rap sheet. He was a known cocaine dealer and heroin manufacturer. He sold drugs and was busted many, many times for aggravated assault and break-ins in the knock. He wasn't the nicest guy on the planet, but not at all that he deserved, what he got from the Baltimore police. Now, I have spoken to a representative from the Baltimore Police Department who has told me that was a tune-up gone wrong. And there's certainly evidence to show that there was a bad situation there that was at fault by the Baltimore Police Department. Now, even given those circumstances, I believe wholeheartedly that what these assholes are doing out there, ruining their city, trashing, businesses. I mean, does this, like, Frank and Nick's restaurant with patrons in it, innocent patrons, deserve to have that chair thrown through it?
No,
those people aren't responsible.
They're acting like animals.
These people are just as evil as what they're protesting against.
They're acting like animals. They're stooping as low as the policeman just did. Stooping just as low. So what valuable lesson does anybody get from rioting? Nothing.
Absolutely.
It just costs innocent people injuries and possible death, and it costs them their business. There's such foolishness. I hate people like that. I do. I hate people that want to act like the animals they're accusing us of being.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the police were wrong. We get it. I mean, there's going to be compensation, and unfortunately, crap happens like that all the time. But it doesn't mean that the whole world can break out and act just as stupid.
And not for nothing, when that happened in Boston, when the black person was shot in Boston by a white cop, there was protest, and the worst thing that they did was they stopped traffic on 93 for an hour or two. Nobody was hurt.
And sticks their arms in concrete
this was right
barrels.
around New Year's Eve. There was the tree growing up.
What good did that do? What did that do? What did it stop? Nothing.
No, but my point, Shannon, is that they protested peacefully. There wasn't any riots. They didn't destroy the city of Boston.
People blocking the highway isn't exactly a peaceful protest when they're putting their arms in concrete barrels and preventing people from getting to work in the hospital. It's not peaceful.
Sweetheart,
that's just stupidity.
I think a whole strong case can be made that there is a big difference with stringing a few people with concrete barrels across the highway to make a nuisance of themselves and burning down your city and doing shit like this. Setting the CVS on fire and cutting the fire hose because you can't, fight the fire.
It's ridiculous.
I
told
think
you
it's
that
a
the
whole
firefighters had
situation.
better remember their faces when their house goes up in fire, and they're going to need the firefighters' help. all these people don't even care that they're being recorded or they're being captured on cameras. They'll just get busted in 3 years eventually, but these people don't even care.
Did the owner of CVS, cause any harm to this guy?
No, they're just being a-holes.
They want to break in. They're walking out there with handfuls of Doritos and drugs. Of course, they're stealing all the drugs that they possibly can.
Oxycontin.
Doritos and Oxycontin.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's horrible to think that they can...
Cornbread. No, I just said it. I just went there.
They're using it as an excuse to be animals. And that's the part that bothers me. That's not protest. That's not what America's about. That's not what we should be standing for. There is wrong in our society. And I think a lot of this has to do with anger in our society. People are angry right now about a lot of things. And unfortunately, they displace their anger in places like this and things like this. It's a horrible, horrible situation. I mean, did this gentleman on the ground being kicked deserve it? I mean, was he one of the cops? Is he in law enforcement? Did he like do anything to deserve being pummeled and beaten by a crowd of angry protesters? I mean, come on, folks. As long as this and my point was, where the hell was the president until today? I mean, he let this go on for days. And yes, he did.
Did he ever go in the news and make an announcement at all?
Yes, he came out today and said all the right things. All the right things he said today about how they're criminals and how we need to watch out for each other. And this is a bigger problem than the police department.
They're all
until people can come together and realize that this is a bigger problem that we all need to pull together. Bullshit. He should have been day one saying, we're sending in the National Guard. We're not going to stand for another Missouri. We're going to take care of the problem before something like this happens. Something like, the whole city gets set on fire and people die and people get injured and families get traumatized. I mean, and where was the mayor? Where was law enforcement? I mean, where was the state police? And where was the mayor calling in reinforcements in the National Guard? Too little, too late, folks. Way too little, too late. They gave them the room to do the destruction. And for all the conspiracy theorists out there, there might be something to that because they can plan things so well nowadays. I mean, there's so many things that the government doesn't tell you. There's so many things that we, don't know behind the scenes that happen. Why in the world were they not a little bit more proactive on this, especially on the heels of Ferguson, Missouri? It's not like we didn't learn our lesson there. We watched them destroy their city, burn it down, storm into police stations and ruin police cars and take out innocent patrons and their property and their stores and looting and riots and all that crap. We learned that shit already. Why in the world they let this happen in Baltimore is just, it's beyond me. And it's an American tragedy. It's an American disgrace as far as I'm concerned, all the way around, from the people that are doing it and rioting and thinking they're protesting, but they're not, right up to the President of the United States that should have handled this shit days ago. To me, absolute disgrace all the way around the board, Shan.
I agree with you. I do. There's Nathan.
Well, say hi to Nathan if you can.
Hi, Nathan. I disagree with you.
I know. You could barely talk. I'm sorry to even put you on the ball.
No,
Shannon, you're a trooper today, kid. You've definitely sucked it up and you had more of a voice this morning. I had a little bit more hope for you than I did when you get home. You must have had a really, really hard and arduous day.
I worked really hard today. I had to answer every phone call. It was kind of hard. I took every order. I had to greet every customer. So
what
can you do? I need to rest it.
All right.
I'm really worried about this food show tomorrow. I mean, I'm gonna have to really say no. I can't talk to people.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to shut it down.
400 people there.
You're gonna have to shut it down until you show up at the event. That's all. That's all you can do. There's nothing else you can do.
In 5 minutes, I get to go to bed.
Wow. I even got you some purple cow last night. That didn't help
my
at all.
God, that was so good. We got a baby size, and it was 3 whole scoops. This is bigger than I had. It was awesome.
Not for nothing, it is ice cream season, folks. And if I don't put it on at Shan Cakes, I'm going to put it on at the ice cream stand. That's for sure.
It's made me happy with some frozen yogurt.
You say frozen yogurt. It's so good for you. It's nothing to be worried about.
Well, no, it's not good for you. No. It is a source of calcium, but it just doesn't have all the fat. It's 98% fat-free as opposed to
frozen
creamy
yogurt.
Ice cream.
That's
it has calories.
Hold on. It's 3 pounds of frozen yogurt filled with a half a pound of white and chocolate chips. You do the math, folks.
Oh, yeah, but the chocolate chips are low fat. Chocolate's good for you.
I love it. I love it. You keep justifying that. That's great.
No, but I mean, 98% fat-free is a lot better than the content of ice cream. Have you looked at the content of real ice cream? That's disgusting.
Well, yeah.
The fat content. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's like 26 fat grams. Oh, nobody needs that.
Well, I mean, seriously.
Who does that?
Where was this restaurant that happened to our friends? This was called Frank and Nick's in Baltimore.
I'll put up the
We knew
photo
4 people
again.
there that night.
Yeah, Frank and Nick's. You can see the front window right there. As he was describing it, that's actually the chair. Somebody get a photograph of the chair being thrown through that front window. I mean, look at the poor people. The guy's trying to pull his girlfriend out of the way. She looks like she's going back to kick his ass.
Yeah, but you know what happened? Erica told me that somebody stole a woman's purse, and there was nothing anybody could do about it. And I wonder if that was the moment that her purse was stolen because she's trying to go back for something.
It does.
They said that they all saw that live as it happened.
Yep, it does. I hope that they get photographs of each and every one of these individuals. I hope they track them down. I hope they prosecute them to the fullest degree. I mean, with today's technology, I hope they can zero in and pull. I don't care if it takes years. I think each and every one of these idiots deserve to be prosecuted because this is not what America is about. If there's a problem with law enforcement, it needs to be dealt with. There's no doubt about it. There needs to be protests. Mm-hmm. There needs to be some sort of action, but it doesn't mean destroying your city, and it doesn't mean ruining innocent lives, for people that are not involved, people that are just trying to make a living, trying to do everything the way you're trying to do it, but you're making a choice to take something from them. And to me, Shannon, I think it's an excuse for people that are just low lifes anyway. They're just using it as an opportunity.
It's so an excuse. They're all like, hey, my friends are doing it. We're going to join in. I mean, I don't like my taxes, but you don't see me out in the street bashing my neighbor's windows.
No, before we go, kudos to the lady that was beating the hell out of her kid.
Oh, that was awesome.
It was awesome.
Can you air it?
The kid was, I told you I didn't have the clip, but the kid was running around in a ski mask. Mom grabs him, cuffs him up beside the head a couple times and said, get your sorry ass home. You're not participating in this crap. Rips the ski mask off his head, boots him in the ass, and sends him home the way he should.
He was mortified.
Well, he should have been.
And embarrassed. What little punk. But she doesn't go to jail for that. That was complete assault.
Yeah. Anywho, kid, we want to make sure that everybody is watching us anywhere you go. You can take us on your tablets, your iPhones, your cell phones, your Androids, and, of course, your computers. And to stay in touch, you can follow us on Facebook. Simply search us out there at PTV Webcast Network. And the same way on YouTube. You can catch not only this show 24/7, but all the great shows here on the network. On YouTube, PTV Webcast Network. On behalf of Shannon, myself, and the whole crew here, we want to say thank you. And then we'll see you next week. Good night, Squeaky.